can hear me. We would like to start. So first, thank you for joining us this evening. I would start with presenting a little bit about Matomy. Afterwards, a little bit about the mobile market. And then we will go specifically to mobile games applications from different categories of games. And we will finish with some paid channels that we recommend to distribute your application. We will start right now. So a little bit about Matomy. Matomy has been in the market for more or less 7 years. Our main office is in Tel Aviv, Israel. We are a global company. We specialize in performance-based marketing in the games industry, both on web and mobile. In addition, we also provide user acquisition for many other verticals. We employ around 380 people around the world in 7 offices. We have a multi-channel approach. We have one point of contact that connects the client to multiple channels that Matomy can provide each mobile developer or web developer. It includes display channels, mobile, social, video, email marketing, search, virtual currency, and domain monetization. All these channels are available for web and mobile distribution, and all are performance-based. Just one last slide about our company. We use diverse media and global reach. We have more than 1,000 active websites that we manage directly on our display. We also have an affiliate network with more than 10,000 registered affiliates working worldwide to deliver performance-based traffic. And we serve more than 60 billion impressions around the world on a monthly basis. We also we have a great relationship with ad exchanges and SSPs such as AppNexus, Right Media, and of course Facebook. And now a little bit to the points. Mobile, and this is the points we're here today. The games have been penetrating the mobile market for a while. In this graph, you can see United States, China, and worldwide data. The numbers, the dollars are the revenues from games. We estimate this year it will reach more than $21 billion of revenues from game applications. On the other side, we can see the user, the audience, meaning how many active users, the monthly active users. On the left side, you can see the comparison between 2013 and the 2014 information. You can see in China, both markets grow in the mobile, in the games. Also, the revenues are grown, and this year, if you check China, they're almost expected to double the revenues from last year. In terms of CPI, if we focus on the US market, we can see a trend of increased CPI, meaning large publishers with big marketing budgets have inflated the US CPI year over year. We see a growth in the CPI because of the high competition in this market. And we also see that the average the average revenue per player has increased in the US. It did not increase enough to cover for the CPI increase, but we hope it will get there really soon. But the tendency, the trend we see is grown CPI. In terms of app application, you can see that freemium is starting to dominate the market more and more. If you look at the amount of freemiums that Google Play had in their store, you can see that this amount this year in the first quarter of 2014 grown compared to the quarters last year. And we see this trend also throughout the year. we see the number of apps grew by 60% between July 2013 and June 2014, which is a huge growth. We also see on Google Play, it grown by 50% from the first quarter of 2013 to the first quarter of 2014. So we see it across all the stores, both on Google Play and the Apple Store. The growth in Google Play, downloads and revenue presents an expanding opportunity for app publishers. Japan, for example, continues to dominate Google Play revenue with a growth of 240% in revenue from the first quarter of last year to the first quarter of this year. After this, we have US, South Korea, and Germany. These are the top markets in terms of revenues from the users. In the iOS, freemium apps are between 80 to 90% of all the applications in store, and the revenue per app is much higher on iOS than on Android and on Windows Phone. You can see it right here. The freemium continues to grow. You can see we're comparing on the right side May 2013 and May 2014. And these are the revenues, the monthly revenues, and on the left side we have the amount of downloads. Games, these are the best performing type of applications so far that we see in the market. In the first quarter of this year, games accounted for almost 90% of Google Play app revenue, up from around 80% in the respective quarter last year. Applications outside of games provide about 60% of Google Play app downloads in the first quarter of this year. Over 70% of all Android devices engaged in the least one gaming app per month, meaning almost all the users play games. This is a strong indication for all the developers that are developing games. Messaging apps supported high revenue growth for communication and social tools, and communication categories displayed particularly rapid download growth. But of course, the games are the dominant. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the target audience. Who you need to target depends on the game and the application you're developing. We're going to drill a bit into the different characteristics for each type of game. Basically, you need to know the type of players you have, and it's determined by the type of the game you have. If it's a casual game, poker game, strategy, sport, or simulation, each of these will attract a different audience, whether a gender-based audience or an age-based audience. This should be considered when you build your strategy of targeting, and we will provide some additional information about it. If we'll take, for example, this demographic chart, this game that presented here is Bejeweled. It's a casual game of the little diamonds that people need to match and make them explode and disappear from the grid. You can see that in this case, 80%, almost 80% of the players of this game are female, and the ages are between 28 and 40. This type of games is has a strong feminine inclination. Male audience is less interested in these type of games, but women are dominating it. If we compare to other games that are a bit more male-oriented, we have Texas Hold'em Poker, which is a card game. It has a 67% male audience, and Castle Age, which is a strategy game. Also has a strong male audience of 63%, and ages tend to be younger ages. So the graphs are starting with 13 years of age, which is the top bar, and 65 is the lower bar. You can see that the majority of the players are between 16 and 40, more or less, on both games. In the strategy games, we have a bit older age as well, but this is the core activity, the core users. If we look at this interesting stuff, this is an Android Play Store analysis. Basically, the x-axis tells the average users of active women users, female users, and on the Y is the average age. The age is measured by the activity of the users inside the application. You can see that these have types of applications, so you can see that male audience is playing games which are arcade and poker games and other types of games, RPGs and strategy, much more than female audience. And female play more software games, and they always play them, well, usually they play them for a longer time. Android attracts younger audience and mostly male audience. Most Android genres appeal to male under 35, suggesting there's an opportunity for an Android game that appeals to older men. It seems to be a little bit of a space there for to develop a new game for this age group. Solitaire and slots are the only genres that have a firm middle-aged audience, with solitaire skewing more female. Games that monetize through IAP, such as card or battle and strategy games and action RPG titles, are more appealing to men. Genres more appealing to women are solitaire, brain, quizzes, are those that are more emailing in monetizing through advertising. Of course, there are always exceptions, and hit titles generally figure out how to make both men and women play, but it's a bit more difficult, so most of the games are targeting a more specific audience. If we look at the similar chart regarding the iOS activity, you can see that there is a void of games that are targeting middle-aged, well, men above 40. There aren't enough games, and there are basically a lot of space there to develop. It's in the second quarter of this chart. You see that there are not a lot of games for this type of audience, and worth exploring this out. Shooters, racing, and action RPG skew younger and more male. Card battles and strategy games also skew towards younger male. The only genre that skews towards male over 35 is casino and poker. Which means that there's we suggest there is more room there for development for games that that will target older men. In terms of KPIs, and I think this will be one of the most important messages from this webinar, we need to understand before you launch your marketing campaign, what are your goals? What are you looking to achieve with this campaign? What are you spending your money for? It can be volume focus, it can be retention focus, it can be in-app purchase focus. This is something that you need to determine before going live and define exactly how you're going to measure your success or your user behavior, and this might determine the success or failure of your campaign. I will tell a bit more about it. So the first focus, of course, is volume, which is, as we see, you just want to get as many users as possible, and because as we know, 96% of iPhone users browse to the top 25 once per week, so everybody's goal is to be somewhere in this top 25, and this is one focus that many app developers are using, which is very good because it can get you on a high level really quickly, but then of course it also will mean that users need to be satisfied from the game. So the most important thing is not to beta on your paid users. Once your game is out, of the test period, the paid users will be the first core gamers. So you need to induce users quickly, especially if you're aiming for high volumes. In terms of return, if you're looking for users that will actually play the game and stay for longer rather than download it for the sake of downloading the game, we have this interesting chart. So the pink ones are the female-oriented games, the blue ones are the male-oriented games, and the gray ones are the neutral games, as Flory describes them. Basically, it gives you the average sessions per week and the 30-day rolling retention. The 30-day rolling retention is measured by counting how many users stayed in the game 30 days after the initial install. So you can see that males they play less and they tend to jump between games. Female tends to be a bit more in the steady zone, and also some of them are actually in committed, which is the top right quarter of this chart. This is an interesting chart because then you can actually see the differences in the strategies and how it should be employed for different kind of games. It also shows different behavior of the audience per gender. So if you're aiming for the core action RPG game and you know you're going to target men, you need to expect a lower retention rate, meaning they will play sometimes less time in the game rather than if you go for a social or a casual game where users tend to play for a longer time. If you look a little bit into the in-app purchases, which is basically for the free-to-play developers, is the money maker, and how you eventually going to earn money for your application, you can see that the amount of the freemiums is growing all the time. So freemiums are dominating, and mostly users are monetized through in-app purchases. So the app is for free, and then users need to buy inside the app. Some examples of purchases inside the games: offer the users goods, offer them goods almost from the start, not too aggressively. It's a bit finding the golden route here, the golden path, because from one side you don't want them to play for a long time without having the chance to deposit or to pay or to buy some sort of an advantage. On the other hand, you don't want to bomb them with the ability to, with the option or the obligation to pay from the start. So I would suggest to try it with different user groups to see how it works and work on the feedback and make it a bit more dynamic. Your games need to be highly polished at the launch with updates ready to go, as gamers will discard games quickly and move on if the game fails to resonate. From a design standpoint, these games should offer immediate opportunities for users to advance by purchasing upgrades and boosts, but again, you need to do it a bit more delicate, so users will not feel like they must pay to win or to proceed, because some of them might lose interest in the game. Attracting the right users through targeted acquisition can pay off, as those that stay will pay. Notably, card battle games have very low retention but off-the-charts monetization. So not many users but that actually play, but the ones that play actually pay a lot of money. It depends on your targeting. You want more users but less deposit, less payers, or you want a core small community of players that actually will pay a lot of money, each of them. Strategy. Now, after you decided what you're going to target, if it's volume or in-app purchase or user retention, we need to choose our channel of distribution. We're gonna learn now about various paid distribution channels. I'll try to be as elaborated as possible about these because I believe they're very important and they can determine your campaign. First, I would say I would recommend not to go only for one channel. I would recommend to go for multiple channels and measure their contribution and success to your campaign and then optimize accordingly. This is a general recommendation from me. In terms of, we'll start with display. So display, we have media buying and we have RTB, which is real-time bidding. The RTB brings a new level of efficiency to ad buying. The whole nature of an auction means that the advertiser who is willing to pay the most to reach a certain type of person will earn the opportunity to do so. So basically on RTB you can target anything you want, if it's an OS, if it's a geo, if it's a specific device, and then of course you pay more for the targeted audience you would like to get. The price that you will be willing to pay provides a clear signal of the relative value you place on a customer or potential customer. So the price you'll pay will result in the traffic you will get, in the quality and the amounts. We also have the pricing model, which is it focuses on the lowest price. It's also a tip for you. High price does not equal high performance in this case. In general, more popular apps and sites cost more, but they don't necessarily perform any better than the cheaper sources. For this reason, we suggest shopping around and starting with the media source that gives you the lowest minimum price, the low fill rates. Opportunity remnant traffic is always a good opportunity to explore. So basically you can start paying low for the pricing and see how it develops, because in this the pricing model does not provide necessarily best results. A little bit about the creatives, which are really important as they are on web becoming to be on mobile. We have different types of creatives. We have pre-landers that can be themed to a specific game or give us a small sense of what the game is about, or a different application of course as well. We have interstitial ads which take over the page and introduce user to the game. And we also have interactive banners that can actually engage with the user. You can see this example on the left side and on the right side. Different banners, of course, good banners, interactive banners can cause high user engagement level, and of course can increase afterwards the user retention. If the user already hooked from the banner stage, he will probably play the game a bit longer. Social, I would not exaggerate as one of the most important sources for your marketing strategy and your campaigns. Social allows us a lot. It gives us a lot of tools. It gives us smart targeting and custom audience and deep links and lookalike audience. But before that, as you know, we don't have the right-hand flyers on our mobile devices. All we have is the news feed, which actually is good because the news feed and the suggested apps part in the news feed brings much better results, because it allows us to target the users there by demographics and special events, by location, by interest, on broad category targeting, by placement, by Facebook connections, and of course by their OS, device, and carrier. So by presenting, by using the news feed, you are able to reach a better and more targeted audience, and you also can play much more with the demographics and the targeting requests you use. Another great feature we have on Facebook are the custom ads. Basically, you can target ads to a specific set of users with whom you have already established a relationship on/off Facebook based on researchers and other information. Your users can be targeted by their email, their Facebook user IDs, their phone numbers, their app user IDs, or Apple IDFA. It's very effective and brings really good results. You can also use deep links. You can send your users to visit a specific point in an already installed Android Android or iOS application, which can also drive you really good results. And you can create a lookalike audience. You can already analyze more or less the audience you have that is playing the game, and you can build similar group of users and target them. Lookalike audience can support any business objective, targeting people who are similar to sets of customers for fan acquisition, site registration, off Facebook purchases, and coupon claims. So it's a vast technology and a very great platform if you want to target users that actually will engage and play the game, high quality users. Facebook allows you to build the lookalike audience based on events that are present in the Facebook SDK. So implemented the Facebook SDK and start building a big sample of users. As big as you build it, the more users you'll get, and you'll have more knowledge to learn about the actual audience that plays your games. Another point about the social is the re-engagement and the remarketing. You can track your users throughout the funnel and offer post-installation tailored re-engagement ends for every stage. So you can check to see what kind of apps they're interested. You can motivate lapsed users to come back and indulge your core customers with bonuses and special promotions. So it gives you a bit higher ability to communicate with your users even after the installation of the game. Remarketing campaigns, website custom audience allow advertisers to create Facebook ads that target users who have previously visited their website. It also happened to me once. I went to a website outside of Facebook, and afterwards for 3 weeks all I've seen on my suggested ads was this application of the same website I visited on web. So it actually works. Advertisers can isolate specific visitors so they can focus only on those who visited a specific page or section of your site, or those who visited pages that include a particular keyword in the URL. So it can be very, very targeted and can deliver really good results. Google, our second biggest friend. The GDN, the Google Display Network, is the world's largest display advertising network with over 2 million websites, including we have Google AdSense, publisher sites, including AdSense for domains and AdSense for errors. And we have Google sites such as Google Finance, Gmail, Blogger, and YouTube. Google Search is not included. A little bit about GDN, the Google Display Network. Recently, Google announced new features. They're in beta at the moment, designed to help mobile app developers increase visibility, push more app downloads, and increase engagement within downloaded apps. It will be available only for Android users. At the moment, Google offers ads on YouTube mobile videos for app downloads. So you can target users based on their existing applications. You can increase engagement in-app, and you can better measure app engagement. Google allows you to track and measure your conversions according to different goals, from installation to engagement and in-app purchases. So it also gives you a lot of information, especially on Android users. Video, the fastest growing online marketing tool today. You can view and download on Google Play, on YouTube, on Facebook, on iOS 8. It's very crucial to distribute your application. Invest in a cool game trailer, as it is probably the most effective tool for existing, for growing and expanding your game. Facebook offers special ad format that allows users to watch a game trailer and then download the app directly from their mobile phone. So the flow is very, very smooth. The users don't need to jump between different platforms or pages. They can do it in one place, which is very convenient for everybody. Video on Google Play is one of the best way to promote your app, and as probably some of you had heard, Apple Store in iOS 8 will be able to show videos, which is great news for all the applications out there. The quality of the video will be short. It should be very engaging the users. And we will have a short example of the video. In order not to disturb the presentation, I will not show it now, but it will be sent to you together with the presentation afterwards. Watch this video. It's a very good example of how a good video should look like, and it can give you a clue of in what you need to invest. It should be, of course, you need to know your targeting before you create the video. You need to write the detailed script. You need to keep it short in order to avoid skipping, so 30, maximum 45 seconds. It should show characters and the game, and it should and you should always check the guidelines of the stores that you want to upload video to, in order to avoid any problems. But to the video, it should be very engaging. It should show the peaks of the game, the top points and the highlights of the game, so users can, within this 30 seconds, understand what's the game about and actually want to play it. So the next step will be for them to download the game, install it, and start playing it. Invest time in planning your video and create a good video, because it can bring you very good results. A little bit about app distribution apps. They're a very good tool. Many of them were unfortunately banned from Apple, but there are still some of them that are active. They deliver very good quality and high volumes on a short-term campaign. So it can be for 2-3 days, and then they deliver you a very high volume, but also a good quality. So I would also consider to use this method of distribution, especially when you want to launch your application, and also through the marketing process every month or every 2 months, just to boost the results and get some more traction to the game. Some very good examples of companies that do app distributions are App Gratis, Games Finder, 42 Matters. Web to mobile. It's something that we see often. We also see it on web offer walls. Users are engaged through a QR code, as you can see, or via email. Of course, the QR code is much more effective and quick. This is relatively new, and it provides you, the developers, a new distribution channel. So you can target your users on web, and with the QR code get them into the application, which can be very good, and it can also be combined with a video trailer on desktop. So you can use two marketing channels at once. Mobile offer wall. Incentivized traffic and non-incentivized traffic. Basically, offer walls are coming from the web sphere. They offer the users points or virtual goods in exchange for the users to make an action. In this case, the action will be to actually download your application and install it. The big advantage of this type of distribution is that you can get a lot of traffic. It's fast and it's easy user acquisition. It's usually much more cheaper than the non-incentivized channels, meaning all the channels we talked about so far until this point. It also has good various targeting options, of course, based on operating system, device type, manufacturer, app vertical, mobile carrier, and much more. The drawbacks or the disadvantages of the mobile offer walls are the fact that they're incentivized. Basically, the users, the main purpose of users to install your app is not to play it; it's to get the virtual goods. In this case, many users will not play the game after they install it, and then you basically will not get the user retention you were aiming for. We do recommend two solutions for this. First, you can use incentivized traffic only at boost campaigns. So in the first few days when you want to boost results and you more care about volumes. So for strategies that are volume oriented and less quality oriented. And second, you can also pay for user engagement and not for application installation, meaning you can pay your partners when a user reaches a certain level inside the game. If it's to finish a tutorial, if it's to achieve a certain level inside the game. And then it will also secure a certain user engagement for you, and will also not result in such a low quality traffic. Another interesting method of distribution, it's relatively new, and at the moment we heard about it only in the German speaking region and in Benelux. It's pre-install. It means that when users buy, when you go to a store and you buy a second-hand telephone from a store, you already get some applications that are installed on the phone. It's not necessarily the applications that the manufacturer installed on the phone. It can be also other applications that developers had a deal with the same store, and the store committed to implement their application on all the phones they're going to sell in the next future. It's new. It's interesting. I'm not sure how you can measure the performance on this one, but I would think about it as another interesting marketing method. Tracking. I think after you define your KPIs, or even before you define your KPIs, tracking should be the crucial one. Technologically, you should be able, either internally or use one of the external SDKs and trackers. You need to be able technologically understand what your users are doing inside a game, and also to report it to your partners that you work with. For us as a network, it's very important to understand where the users are in the flow. If users played the first day, if they played the third day, if they played the seventh day, when the first user paid, which is also important for us. We need all this information for optimization. You need this information to learn about your user behavior and what engages them best. For us, it's crucial to know all these metrics so we can optimize better the quality we send to you and actually provide the best users we can. So choosing a stable tracking solution that gives you the full transparency on your user behavior and allows you to implement in-app events will help you a lot to succeed in your performance campaign, because this is how we measure the success of our campaign, is by the user behavior. I want to give you, just before we finish, a small example of a client that we manage in Matomy. I want to tell you a bit more about our strategy with him. The client called Gris. It's a jackpot slot application. We work with the clients for a while already. Our main objective was to launch a user acquisition campaign with emphasis on high quality users. So this client was less volume focused. His main agenda, his main request from us, please bring me quality users. This is something that is very important for us, of course, to identify the goal of the campaign from the developer. And because he asked for high quality users, and this was his main focus, less on high volumes, we acted accordingly. What we did, we implemented a series of post-installation pixels, events, and we measured it inside the game to see where users are engaging and where we are losing, how many users are continuing and playing the game for how long. And this helped us to determine and to identify the best traffic channels and the sources that are working for this client and for this specific application. It resulted eventually in almost 4 times growth in app installs from November to December. So within a month, thanks to this deep implementation, we grown this application results almost by 4 times, which is very significant because we were able both deliver eventually good volume and maintain the main agenda of the client, which was the quality of the users. At this point, I would like to address to 2-3 questions that Alexander, I hope you gathered.
Yeah, hi, Ian. Yes, actually, I see the nice last questions, and I have a couple more. The last question is, how much would you take for 100,000 users to chat app you? Can you answer this question?
Sorry, how much would you take for 100K users for chat app? Well, this is something that's very difficult to answer without checking the application and see in which markets it should be live. This is something that we'll be happy to check afterwards and consult with our partners and provide a proper feedback.
Actually, I writing down the one question. No, it doesn't write. Hold on a second. No. Okay, let me. Can you? What are the most common mistakes happen in marketing campaigns or marketing of application?
From the advertiser, from the developer side or from the network side? Well, from the developer, right, we do experience a lot of clients that that started the marketing process when they were not 100% sure what they wanted to achieve. And setting up the goal is the most important thing before starting the campaign. So after writing this amazing game and this cool application you have, take another day, a week or 2 weeks, learn your market, learn who your audience, check your options, and build your strategy properly. Come to a network or to an agency, especially if you focus on performance, with a specific agenda. We would like to get to 100K users within X amount of time. We have this amount of budget. We would like to get less users but more quality. This is something that is very important for us to understand. Allow networks, big networks such as us, the flexibility on creatives and on traffic sources and on channels, and invest more money in the high quality channels like Facebook, because it can really bring you good results. And sometimes I think it's better to spend on Facebook and get less users because they're a bit more expensive than to spend the same amount of money on other channels, get more users, but they will not stay in the game and eventually might not bring you the same revenue that users from the high quality channels will bring. From the network perspective, our common mistakes will be not to ask the client all the questions and not to make sure that we are fully able to track all the in-app stages and fully understand exactly what is the game about and what exactly the client asking us to achieve in this campaign.
Another good question. Would you recommend to spend money on boosts, on classic user acquisition, if the budget only $10,000 US? I hope it's just for months.
Yes, if it's a one-time 10K budget, I would maybe invest it in the highest quality channel I can get that will bring me the paying users, so I can quickly gather more money for my next campaign. I will rather burn $10,000 on a boost campaign that will give me instant traffic and display cheap traffic that I don't know where it comes from and might not result in a lot of paying users, which will leave me kind of empty from both sides or barefoot from both sides.
And another question, where to begin to promote the mobile game? Is it right?
Oh yeah, of course, with us. Well, I'm a bit biased here, of course, but I think Matomi can be a good home for you developers to start your marketing campaign and also to grow together with us. We have a lot of experience and great tools to go in this process together with you.
And I think the last question today, what tools, ways do you use to personify user acquisition? Irina asked.
Can you repeat? I don't. What? Yeah, I see the question. What tools, ways do you use to personify user acquisition? What does it mean? You mean to build the targeted audience? Or I'm sorry, I don't. Okay, so first we take all the information we can from you, Irina, if you already have in mind what kind of audience you want. And we also use the information we have based on the type of application you have. If it's a casual game, we know it usually attracts a certain audience. If it's an MMO or an RPG or a strategy game, it will attract a different audience. We gather all the information. Where we get this information? Well, basically we learn a lot online, and we also learn from our other clients. We see what works best for them, and we advise you, and we try to share our knowledge with all our other clients. If we see that casual games are working on a specific demographics, our internal, for example, Facebook teams will probably duplicate the same. They will create a lookalike audience for one application to another application. If the applications are similar, then we will use the strategy.
Okay, I think this is it for today. Спасибо всем большое за то, что вы были с нами. Спасибо.